You deserve someone who understands you better, Linda was saying. Precious doesn't appreciate you the way you deserve. Precious froze. Her heart sank as Linda's word echoed into her mind. Once upon a time in Abia State, there were two girls named Precious and Linda. They grew up in rich families and were inseparable since childhood. Precious was kind, gentle, and loved by all. Linda, on the other hand, was clever, beautiful, but had a hidden jealousy that started to grow, especially when she noticed how much attention Precious received from everyone. They spent their days shopping, attending parties, and enjoying their wealth, always supporting each other. But little did Precious know Linda's heart harbor an unspoken envy. One day, while at the party, Precious met Chijioke, a young and successful businessman. He was charming, handsome, and soon became her closest friend. Linda, who had always thought of herself as the most beautiful, felt a pang of jealousy when Chijioke started paying more attention to Precious. At first, Linda smiled and pretended to be happy for them. But as days passed, her feelings of envy grew. She couldn't help but wonder why he chose Precious over her. As weeks passed, Chijioke and Precious' relationship became more serious. They were inseparable, going to dates and sharing dreams of the future. Linda watched from the sidelines, trying to hide her jealousy behind a mask of friendship. One evening, Chijioke surprised Precious with a proposal, and she said yes, and they were engaged. Precious was overjoyed, but Linda's heart was heavy. Deep down, she wanted to be the one to wear the ring. Wedding plans began, and everything seemed perfect. Precious was radiant, and Chijioke couldn't take his eyes off her. But Linda's jealousy burned hotter with each passing day. As the wedding date drew nearer, Linda began to feel a growing resentment. She tried to convince herself that she was happy for Precious, but her heart says otherwise. Linda's thoughts turned dark. She began to wonder how she could make Precious' happiness disappear. Maybe, just maybe, she could get Chijioke to notice her. The wedding day finally arrived. The venue was grand. The guests were excited, and Precious walked down the aisle, glowing in her white wedding gown. Linda stood beside her, smiling, but in her heart, she couldn't help but feel the sting of jealousy. As Precious and Chijioke exchanged vows, Linda's mind raced. Why couldn't it be me? She thought. She pushed the thoughts aside and told herself that she would get over it. But deep inside, she knew the jealousy was only growing stronger. After the wedding, Precious and Chijioke went on their honeymoon. Linda stayed behind, pretending to be happy. But when they returned, things were different. Chijioke seemed distant. He was no longer as attentive to Precious as before. Linda, who had always been clever, saw the opportunity. She began visiting Chijioke under the guise of being a concerned friend. You know, she would say, Precious can be a bit controlling. Maybe you need some space. Chijioke listened, unsure of what to think. Linda knew just how to plant seed of doubt. Days turned into weeks, and Chijioke became more distant. Precious began to notice the change. She tried to talk to him, but he would brush her off. I am just busy, he would say. Precious didn't understand. Their love had been so strong, so perfect. What had happened? She soon discovered that Linda had been spending a lot of time with Chijioke, alone. Her suspicions grew, but she didn't want to believe it. Could Linda really be trying to break them apart? One evening, Precious decided to surprise Chijioke at his office. As she walked in, she overheard Linda's voice. "You deserve someone who understands you better," Linda was saying. "Precious doesn't appreciate you the way you deserve." Precious froze. Her heart sank as Linda's word echoed into her mind. She felt betrayed, but she wasn't sure if she should confront him just yet. As the week went by, the tension between Precious and Chijioke grew. He started to withdraw more, spending time with Linda and listening to her whispers of discontent. Precious' heart ached. She tried to do everything right, but nothing seemed to bring him back to her. Linda, now feeling victorious, began to distance herself from Precious. She no longer acted like her best friend, and every time Precious reached out, Linda's responses were cold and distant. One day, Precious overheard Linda speaking to one of their mutual friends. "I have always wanted Chijioke for myself," Linda said, "and now I'll get him." Precious won't know what hit her. Precious felt her world crumble. Her best friend, the person she trusted most, was the one tearing her life apart. Anger and betrayal flooded her heart. Feeling hurt and betrayed, Precious confronted Linda. "Why are you doing this to me?" she asked, tears welling in her eyes. Linda's response was cold and calculated. "You have everything, Precious. The man, the money, the perfect life. I wanted it all." Linda's confession shattered Precious' heart. "How could you have been so blind?" Linda, realizing Precious has discovered her secret, tried to play the victim. "You are just overreacting," she said. "I am just looking out for you." But Precious was no fool anymore. She knew what Linda has been doing all along. Chijioke, caught in the middle, didn't know who to trust. Linda's manipulation has clouded his judgment, and Precious' tears had only made him feel more confused. As the days went by, Precious withdrew into herself. She spent less time with Chijioke, feeling betrayed by both him and Linda. Linda, meanwhile, continued her pursuit of Chijioke, using every trick she knew to win him over. But as she grew closer to him, Linda realized something. Chijioke wasn't as perfect as she thought. He was distant, unsure, and full of guilt. She began to see the cracks in the relationship she was trying to destroy. Precious made the difficult decision to leave Chijioke. She couldn't live with the constant betrayal and mistrust. "I deserve better," she told herself. Linda, however, was far from satisfied. She knew that even though Chijioke was hers for the taking, it wouldn't bring her the happiness she had hoped for. Months passed and Precious moved on. She focused on her career, healing her broken heart. But Linda's action continued to haunt her. Despite having Chijioke, Linda was no longer content. She was left with the emptiness of her selfish decisions. Precious' life slowly began to improve, but Linda's downfall was just beginning. Chijioke, realizing he has lost Precious for good, started to regret his action. Linda, however, grew more restless. She had gotten everything she wanted, but it didn't bring her happiness. She was lonely, and the jealousy she had once felt for Precious had only left her feeling hollow. Precious received a call from Chijioke one evening. "I have made a huge mistake," he said. "I want to make things right." Precious listened but was unsure. "You have already hurt me too much," she replied. Linda's life fell apart. She lost her friends, and her relationship with Chijioke crumbled. The lies, deceit, and jealousy had finally caught up with her. She had nothing left but regret. One day, Precious received a letter from Linda. In it, Linda apologized for everything and asked for forgiveness. Precious thought for a moment. She had already let go of the past. Precious met with Linda to hear her out. I was wrong, Linda said, tears in her eyes. I let my jealousy destroy everything. Precious listened silently. Forgiveness is not easy, Precious said. But it's the only way to move forward. Linda nodded, knowing she had no right to ask for forgiveness. Precious chose to forgive Linda, not for Linda's sake, but for her own peace of mind. The past could not be undone, but the future was still hers to shape. Linda, alone and regretful, finally understood that true happiness came from honesty, not manipulation. She had lost everything because of her jealousy. As time passed, Precious and Chijioke rebuilt their life together. They learned that love, trust, and loyalty were more valuable than wealth or status. Linda, though regretful, was left to start anew, knowing she had destroyed everything in her pursuit of jealousy and greed.